Hi there, welcome back. We are here installing bag number 6 of the LeLightGo LED kit for the Ghostbusters Ecto-1 Lego car. Two more steps left, basically. We have bag 6, and then I think there's one more bag after that, plus some other electronics. We will go ahead and get started. This one's probably going to be fairly short, just from what I'm looking at, but we'll see if I can actually do that quickly like it looks. So first things first, I'm going to grab bag number 6 out of the pile, which is right here. Bag number 6. And this one looks like it's going to be dealing with the taillights because it has a lot of red covers or red pieces of Lego. Dump those out. Oh good, and they're already pre-stuck in the little pieces that we're going to be replacing. So I'm going to, there's a little twist tie around the wires. I'm just going to undo that quick. And if this is your first video that you're watching for whatever reason from me, I do this pretty much real time. I make mistakes and you get to see them. It might take a little bit longer than ideal, but I don't look ahead prior to hitting record, so you're going to see everything that I'm seeing as I go through it. If I do anything that's repetitive, I will speed it up, but otherwise this should be relatively real time. Okay, so this one has, looks like, so these will be in sync, a single plug that's branched out to 2 different strands of 3, so 6 total red LEDs, or red lights. The very first step appears to basically be removing 4. Okay, so I'm going to turn the car around here. It is definitely the taillights. So you've got 2 here and then 1 here on each side. So the other 2 here and then 1 here. So 6 total. I'm going to remove all those. I think all we're doing is adding those additional pieces in between, and then of course trying to hide the wires probably. I don't know how these come out. I'm just going to grab them with my tweezers. Or I'm not. Alright, just going to, there we go. Okay, that lens came out. I don't really have a good way to get a grip on that lens, but I'm just using my tweezers to try to pop it out. There we go. Okay, so we've got our 4 pieces plus the other 2. Just looking at the instructions. Okay, so they actually have me removing this gray piece, this circular piece here, for whatever reason. I think that's all supposed to come out. I'm not sure. Let me... Yeah, so this whole piece, I removed that off the left side so far. What else? So we do that on both sides, right? So that one there. I'm just pulling straight out. So got the other one here. And just for the sake of recording it, that's what the rear end of the vehicle looks like after you do it. Okay. Okay, and I guess, yeah, now we're also removing this little gray square, just this little tiny piece that's, let me see how to remove that. Oh, just threw it. So just a single little piece right here, right? There's one on each side that exposes this little blue piece. So we'll take that one, and then, oops, I pulled too much. Don't pull this out. Okay, so yeah, now we've got both of those little gray squares removed. I can't tell. Okay, yeah, so each of these wires has, starting with the plug, you have 1, 2, and 3, or 1, 2, 3. The outer two, the furthest ones from the plug, are the ones that are going to have these cones, these little red cones placed on them. So I'm just going to stick those red cones on each of these. And again, you can tell because they're the closest ones together, so these two should be close together. And then this one will be the lower piece. All right, so I'm going to do that on both of these. Or all 4 of these, rather. Okay, so all 4 of the cones are now reinstalled. It looks like on the, so they're just, installing the right side first. It doesn't seem to matter. I think they're the same length. Yeah, so it doesn't matter which way you go. Just one of the sets of wires is going to the left and one's to the right. So I'm going to do the right side as they have pictured. I'm going to make sure, again, like with all these LEDs, there's obviously the LED portion of it, and then there's the solder side of it. The way this is sitting right now, the LED is actually facing the back. That is not ideal. I want to turn it around so the part that's getting plugged into the vehicle has the solder facing the back. So we should see 2 little nubs of solder there, and the LED is now pointing the direction of the cone, so it's facing up now. And now that that's like that, we can plug this into the vehicle. Let's see, make sure which way they have the wires going. Doesn't really show. The wires do appear to go towards the middle of the vehicle. I'm going to make sure both of these have their LED facing the correct way. And if not, I'm going to use my tweezers to try to manipulate it. It's a lot easier than trying to bend the wires. Okay, so they're both facing the correct way. Okay, so I don't know if you can see that. I'm not quite sure if this is right yet as far as where the wires are kind of sticking down there. There's a little bit of a loop that you can see. I'm not sure if that's correct or not, or if I need to try to loop it off to the left. I'll determine that here shortly. I don't see that on theirs in the pictures that they have, but I also don't know. Yeah, I think they just kind of, it is there, but it's just kind of tucked to the back. Maybe I need to reposition the left one here. Oops, darn it. I'm unplugging this piece again. Oh, the whole thing came out again. Okay, so I'm gonna take this wire and go maybe up and over slightly. I don't know. Sorry, this one, my hand's gonna be in the way for this, and I apologize. Okay, so I took the cone off while I was doing this, and I just made sure that the wire was kind of tucked. I don't know if that's going to focus. Tucked kind of back a little bit to the left. I don't know if that's going to... That's how it looks like it might be in the photos. And then, of course, these kind of face down, and they'll get hidden here. So I'm going to plug the cone back in like it should be. And they don't specifically show it, but basically that wire is going to be hidden behind this little white curved piece right here. So, yeah, I'm removing it. They don't show this, but I'm removing this little curved piece because they want the wire kind of tucked and hidden by that, and then plugged into the blue piece that was exposed earlier. Plug it in first, and then I'll show you. Okay, so I've got the wire plugged in, but I haven't hidden the white wires yet. So that bottom red piece is now plugged in front of the blue, and the wires are just kind of hanging out. These wires need to be kind of tucked somehow down in there, and then this little piece will try to cover them, apparently. That's going to be kind of hard to do. I will try my tweezers again. Wish I could kind of loop these together somehow. Actually, yeah, holding it with the tweezers might actually work. So I'm able to kind of push the wires with my tweezers in the void underneath the red piece here. It is fairly well hidden. You still get that little loop up here, but it's pretty well hidden. Let me see if I can get that to zoom. Yeah, it's pretty well hidden in there. You just have that little loop up there that I don't like, but they show that on their photos as well, so I think I did it correctly. Okay, is that... And basically they're having you do the exact same thing on the other side without showing it. So, yep, rinse and repeat for the other side. So we've got our two cones here. LEDs are facing the correct way. And I guess you probably don't have to. Let me see if I can film this. I don't think you have to take that white piece off, and maybe that would actually make it easier. Let me see if I can get the right angle here. Not really. Because I think what you can do is you can kind of possibly, because it's not like a tight fit where that white piece is, you might just be able to tilt it back just ever so slightly and slip the wires in. But I feel like it's going to be easier, just like I did on the other side, to just kind of pop that white piece off again, make it available to you, make that opening open, and then just try to wedge the wires in afterwards. Yeah, there we go. Okay. So while I'm doing this, I'm going to try to shove the wires in myself. And then clip this in. Oops, the LED kind of turned around in the red fitting. Wouldn't let me click it into place. Which way? Okay, yep. So now we just need to hide the wires. Sorry, this is not showing up on film, but basically just want to hide the wires in that opening and then put that white piece back. So again, there's my wiring. I'm just going to stick that white piece back in there. Now hopefully those wires won't move. Okay, there we go. Not perfect, but pretty good. Okay. Okay, yeah, now that those are done, we need to, where does those wires hide? The wires kind of hide down and under these gray pieces that we now need to reinstall. So presumably you just kind of pull those wires down and under, kind of like that, and then just stick this gray piece back in front of it, which should hold the wires underneath. I don't think I have that in there quite right. Oh, I bet my what? That's. Oh yeah, I see the problem. One moment, I figure out how to do this correctly. Okay, so this wire here needs to be kind of pulled off towards the right. I'll rotate this a little bit. So, can that show up? Yeah, so I'm pulling the wires off towards the middle of the vehicle, but down underneath, which won't block that L-shaped gray piece from clicking into its spots. The wire was in the way before, so I'm going to hold this kind of off to the right and then clip this back in. Much better. Okay, so you can see just barely right there is the little bit of wire that you can see. So presumably I do that on both sides. And this one's already facing the right way, so I'll pull off the side and stick this gray piece back in. Okay, so yeah, now the wires are coming out from underneath. And from the rear shot, we got that view, which if I take these wires and pull them down, there you go. So you can clearly see the wires are coming down, seemingly down from underneath. Next step after that is to put the red lenses on. Easy enough. And those two little gray pieces that we removed earlier, those were replaced by the red piece that had the LED in it. So these little pieces will now be considered extra. you just set them aside. You don't need them anymore. Now, underneath the vehicle, so I'm going to lay the vehicle facing this direction. Okay. You can kind of, I'll get a better view of this here in just a second. Just want to fix something quick. When I put those gray pieces back in, I didn't quite have them in all the way like they should be. This will make more sense once I get the video up here. Okay, so just make sure when you flip it over, you can clearly see the wires are kind of coming out of those two little gaps. Let's see if I can get this. And it's not going to focus. Yeah, there you go. There's a little black piece that's there on both the top and the bottom. If the wires come out of there, that's perfect. Okay. And they're just having us pull those wires forward and sticking them through this piece right here. So we'll basically pull the group like this forward, but this will stick through that middle, it looks, yeah, the very center hole of that bar. So just like that. Just gonna let that go. And that is actually it for bag number 6. So again, we've basically installed the taillights and then ran the wire up underneath the vehicle, which just fell out. But once we connect that to whatever's going to end up there later, it'll stay just fine. All right, well, whatever. I can't get it to stay and flip the vehicle over, but I wanted to show the rear of the vehicle one last time. So that is what the finished rear end should look like. I mean, just like it did before, only you have a little bit of wire showing on both sides. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I will be moving on to step 7 or bag number 7 momentarily. Again, if you haven't already and you feel necessary, go ahead and like and subscribe. I don't do videos often, but if you find something interesting, feel free to leave me a comment. I appreciate it. Thank you.